All right, welcome to the show.
Thanks. It's
I'm
good to
glad
be
you can
here.
make it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
And we're just talking about that. It's the follow-up of continually asking
Yeah.
to finally break you down to say,
Yeah.
all right, I'll be there.
Yeah.
But the second I push there, you're like, fine, calendar, go.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. And it wasn't a no from the jump either. It was a, oh, maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't a no. It
Yeah,
was
you
like
had a good
not
gray
yet,
area to
not
get me.
ready. Yeah, yeah, it was a little easier to push.
Yeah.
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 Look, we go back almost a dozen years.
Mm-hmm.
And what I always start with is how did you even get into real estate? So, because I know your journey, even through the beginning of real estate,
Mm-hmm.
two different kind of sides.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, like, what were you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah. So that's funny. I actually stumbled into real estate, to be honest with you. I was working for a new home construction. I was working for a semi-custom builder here in the Valley. And I was running their design studio. And in '05, like when the market was crazy, I was designing homes left and right, it was nuts, right? When the market slowed down and we started feeling that slow, she was like, I can't afford to keep you. And I can't afford to lose you. So she
That's a
said,
compliment.
yeah, so great. She said, if I paid for you to go to real estate school, would you do it? Would you be interested in doing that?
Wow.
So I said, sure, why not? Let's do it. I took the 2-week crash course, which was awful.
It's intense.
Yeah. And I
And I don't know.
started,
I didn't do it. So I just hear
yeah,
it's
it was
intense.
awful. I've done it that way.
90 hours?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot.
They say it's like trying to take a sip from a fire hydrant. It's bad. It's a lot of information, but So she plopped me in one of her model homes, and I started selling almost right away in there. And then the market came to a screeching halt. If you were in the business, it felt like it just all of a sudden the door is closed kind of feeling.
Yeah.
So I had to get a JOB, just over broke. So I went and did some contract work with Intel for a little bit as a teacher. And
Were you teaching before you even got into new home?
No.
What were you doing before the new home design center?
I was a bill collector for 8 years.
Really?
So really, I've always gotten paid
Were you
to
like
talk.
knocking on people's door with a baseball bat? Like
No,
that kind
I
of
was
bill
picking
collector?
up the phone and
Okay.
verbal baseball bat. Yeah,
Wow.
verbal
Oh,
negotiations.
so you were on the
was-
phones
yeah.
already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So dialer
8
system.
years?
8 years.
Wow. Just
Yeah.
like, hey, you owe this, and then would
Yeah.
you like negotiate the payment or
Yep.
whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started off in like front end where people are, like a couple days late, a couple weeks late maybe. And then I ended up in back end, which is like the legal department. Like, I'm going to drain your bank account if you don't pay.
Oh my.
So that got
Wow.
there.
That
Yeah,
escalated
yeah.
quickly.
It did escalate quickly. And what's funny is because I actually went from that job to designing the design studio for the new home builder. My brother-in-law said, hey, we just lost our designer. We need someone new. You'd be perfect for it. And I was like, are you crazy? Like, I'm a bill collector. I've never done anything like that. He's like, you don't have to. Like, they pick the colors. You just have to people.
Wow.
You just got to do what you're good at, you know?
You didn't have to have an eye for design.
Yeah.
or
And I
these
was like,
match, 'cause
really? I was
everything's
like,
matched together.
yeah.
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 They pre-match it anyways. No
Yep.
package A or package B.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was just kind of doing that for a while. But I met with the owner in the company and she was like, oh, yeah, I got to have you. I'll train you. Whatever you need, I'll train
That's
you.
phenomenal.
Same lady who put me through real estate school.
Killer.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're in the models.
Yeah,
so you're
so-
actually selling them, slinging. How long did you do that?
Yeah. Just shy of 2 years. Yeah.
And that's when just the brakes hit.
And the brakes just hit. I was losing my home business. I was losing the business. I was losing, I left, right, and then went through a divorce at the time. So I had to hit the ground running with a job. And I had a friend that worked at Intel, and he's like, hey, I need a safety instructor. Need you to come teach safety lessons to construction workers before they get their badge. And I was like, I've never been a teacher in my life. What are you talking about? And he's like, we talk for a living. So he's like, I just need you to do what you do.
Here, I thought you were going to get into like some martial arts background,
Yeah.
like safety instruction.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you teaching?
Yeah, teaching construction at Intel to about 150 construction workers every day. Yeah.
How long did that go for?
2 years. That went on for 2 years. And then Kevin Kaufman, who is the owner of the team that I work for now, he actually was a friend of mine back when I was a bill collector. He ran the dialer system for me. And we stayed connected on Facebook and, social media. And he posted something that said, If you could get into real estate, not have to stress about commissions and have a salary, is that something that would interest you? And his inbox got flooded. But he said to me, he's like, as soon as I saw your message and you're like, me, because I just texted him, I said, me. And he's like, it's yours. He's like, I won't even talk to anyone else. Fred Weaver, his business partner, he's like, I'm going to talk to her. I don't know her, you know? And it was funny because it was actually the first time in my life I actually needed a resume, and I had no idea how to put a resume together because Fred was like, can I have your resume? And I was like, I've never needed one. He's like, what does that mean? And I was like, I've always gotten recruited into the jobs. Like someone just steals me, you know? And he's like, that's so interesting. So I typed up a resume, gave it to him. He interviewed me 3 different times.
Wow.
I was like, it's like the CIA, you know. I was like, what do you want? He's like, I want to make sure that you're a good fit all the way around. And he really did. And
I like that.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Do you remember? No, that was a while ago. But do you remember that? Like what the difference was between each of the 3 interviews?
Yeah. Very first interview was just very, very casual.
In person.
In person. Wanted to meet. Wanted to hear about my work experience. You know, I think he just wanted to feel the vibe. The second, and he sent me home with a test, a personality test. We were with KW, so it was not the Enneagrams.
Disc.
Yeah, the disc. Yeah.
Okay.
So I went and did that, and then he wanted to go over the results of it, you know. And so that one felt like a therapy session because I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I answered these questions correctly because I really wanted the job. I wanted to get back into real estate. And I wanted that salary that I didn't have to worry about the commissions because that's what drove me out of the business.
Right.
You know. And so I really wanted the job. But yeah, he wanted to make sure he went through that one the second time. And then the third time was really about job description, expectations, we're going to hire you kind of thing. But yeah, he really went through his due diligence on that. And
toughest interview you had?
Yeah.
Because most of them were like, hey, we
most
need
of
you,
them
we
were
want
just like, hey,
you.
here's the job. Just let me train
Show
you.
up on Monday and go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I've been with them, golly, I think it's 12 years
12?
this year.
Yeah.
How old am I? Yeah.
So how'd you start? Like salaried obviously isn't.
So salary
hey,
was
go,
40
it's-
grand. Boom. Salary was 40 grand. And I didn't even really, I just wanted the dollar amount because I wanted to learn the business without the stress of starving to death. Like I just wanted to learn the business because with new home sales, you know your product, you know your floor plan.
Like you just had to learn that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's
that's
a couple-
it.
there's
You know,
just a
and they
few.
didn't really teach you all the personable stuff. I just kind of already came package deal like that. But this one, there was so much to learn, and so that's what I did. And it was a short sale market at the time.
True.
So we were taking every one of our listings were short sales. Bank was coming to get them, and so I was taking the photos, I was doing the measurements, I was putting the listings together. I was learning all of it without having to worry about the income part of it.
So
And it wasn't a huge
administrative
income.
stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that was your ticket in to learn that
Yep.
side of the resale side of the business.
Yep. Yep. And Fred and Kevin were like, hey, we like doing this part of the business, but like, you know, meeting with buyers and doing the buyer consults, like we want you to perfect that. So I perfected doing the buyers consults, and then they hired a transaction manager who did the back end, like inspections, appraisal, that kind of stuff. And then the market started changing. So it was less short sales, but it was great because it was like, I don't know, it felt healing in a sense because when I left the market, everyone was losing their homes, and it was just like I felt like it was going up in flames, and it felt a little bit like being able to piece some of that back together, you know, for some people, or saving their shorts a little bit on a home sale.
Well, it was like the rebirth of our market.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was difficult.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Yeah, and
Whether
it wasn't,
you were in
and
the
it
sales
wasn't,
side
and
or
it
not.
wasn't sexy, and it wasn't glamorous. You know, it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna put on a beautiful suit and go look at luxury homes, make all this money. You know, it wasn't that.
No,
It was flip flops in mud, taking pictures of homes that had just been, you know,
battling with the banks.
Yeah.
Or you're going
Battling
to those
with-
houses where they were taking their stuff. They were
taking the
ceiling
copper out of the
fans and,
they were taking everything, copper out of the walls. They were taking some landscaping. It was
stuff they shouldn't have taken.
wild. It was wild times. It really was. And so I was grateful to learn. I was grateful to learn this market in that kind of a market, you know, and build those relationships with people because everyone at that time was trying to survive.
Right.
You know, and so when you're trying to survive, everyone's kind of like I don't know. I made great connections with you. Like you're a lender who came knocking on the door. I want to work with you. I want every one of your buyers, like you. So I was able to build a connection with you years ago. I was able to build a connection with my title rep years ago. People that were in the trenches at the time with you before it was glamorous again, when it was hard,
Yeah. And they made it through with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
So how long did you go salary until you said, hey, I'm
So
ready to go agent?
that's the funny part. So I went salary, and I can't tell you how long, maybe a year.
Oh,
maybe
okay.
more, maybe a little bit more, maybe 2, maybe. But I was 109 months pregnant with my daughter, and I was out showing homes in Fountain Hills, and it was like August, and I'm sweating, miserable, feet are puffy, and Kevin texts me, call me after your showings, we need to talk.
Oh.
And to an overthinker, that's just like, ugh, So I called him, and he's like, okay, don't freak out. I was like, okay, I'm already freaking out. Thanks a lot. I'm already on guard. And he's like, we're going to switch the team up a little bit. We're going to change the platform a little bit.
This is over the phone?
Yes. 109 months pregnant, giving birth any day, trying to make the best of, I wasn't even at the time worried about my commissions. I was already salary, but I was still working, Anyway, so he said, I need to change you from salary to commission. And I said, no.
Cool.
He's like, no, it's not a yes or no. This is happening.
I wasn't asking your
opinion.
opinion
I wasn't
on
asking
that.
your opinion. It wasn't for you. I was like, no, I'm good. Thanks for asking, but no, I'm good. I'll stay right here. Yeah, good.
My water just broke.
Yeah. He said, Stephanie, he's like, you've known me since your early 20s. He's like, trust me. And now I'm crying.
It's time.
Yeah, I'm crying. I said, no, I don't want to. I was scared. I was scared to death. And he's like, I promise you, you're going to make more money in the first month than you've ever made in a month. Trust me. And I was like, okay, so I don't get to say no. So, right. Okay, I guess I'm going to trust you. I guess we're going to roll the dice. Yeah, and it's funny because, money is one of those sensitive subjects. I don't really talk about sex, religion, politics, money, like those. I kind of keep those, But that first month that I actually made more money than I'd ever made in a month, I called him crying. I said, thank you. Yeah. He's like, oh, you're welcome. Get back to work. But
now you're at zero. Right? Like that's the game.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
Yeah. It changes the business for sure. For me, I wanted to learn. So for me, it was about me with salary. It was about me staying comfortable. It was about me getting my salary. It was about me learning.
Training.
Yeah.
It was the training.
But when you take that safety net away, now it becomes about a lot of things. It becomes about the business again, and it becomes about learning your business in different ways and how to pad different things. And
well, it's executing your business. Yeah. Managing your money.
Yeah. Looking
right?
at
Because I don't know, it's different when we talk about budgeting money. It's like, well, I'm not on a fixed number anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So when I have clients that are W-2'd and have the same money coming in all the time, it's easier to work a budget.
Taking that leap from getting a paycheck every 2 weeks where you're like, okay, I'm getting paid on Friday, or, oh yeah, it's the 15th. Now it's like, oh, I just put someone under contract. Who's next? Because you gotta get the next one going. You got to get that hamster wheel going.
Pipeline's got to
go. Because your paychecks could be 30 to 45 days apart. Yeah. So managing that was, and then managing having that too was interesting, because when you say no for so long, you want to go to dinner? No. Want to go to a concert? No. Want to go on vacation? No. And when you start making all that money, you're like, yes, 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 yes. I'm going to do all of it because I've said no for so long,
Pent up.
And at the end of the year, you're like, oh, I spent what on steak dinner?
Where did that money go?
Yeah, where'd that money go?
Have you gotten better with your finances?
Yes, yeah. And honestly, you've been a great deal of help with that, not because you've done my home loans and my refinances, but not because of that, but just, your personal coaching help with that. Because it is a plan ahead kind of business. You don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable if I have less than 90-day supply of bills in my account. Like if I have 6 months, I'm like, okay, that's comfort. Like it's so weird to have money in the bank and feel broke.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That's a unusual feeling to have. You're like, but you have, this amount of money. You're like, no, I don't. It's not even there. It's already spent. It's already planned, and I got to get more. So that That definitely was a little.
Well, I would say for, you had a unique scenario. So I would say with the new agents that are just getting started out, I'm like, man, do you have like 6 months of reserves? Like, how much is it every month for you to survive your cell phone bill, your, mortgage or rent, car, food, like
Yeah.
minimum that you need to just survive, gym membership, like all that stuff, just regular stuff, right?
Yeah.
But for 6 months, because you don't know when your first deal is going to come. And if you don't have that money and you're just racking up the credit card or you're asking your parents, it's not sustainable to make it in this game. But man, you got 6 months reserves and you treat it like zero, right? I'm still just as hungry, but I got the six. It just makes it a lot easier. And then the phrase I always use that you taught me was commission breath.
Yeah, commission.
You don't want the commission.
You don't
breath.
want the
like,
commission.
I'll take the high price listing. I'll take the client that's, not of moral and ethical
show you homes
values.
before you pre-qualified.
Right, like, I'll do
All
it.
the things you're just chasing
Yes.
the bunny. You're like, yes, I gotta go. Yeah,
And then you lose money from it.
all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a great lesson. But
Yeah.
you had a different dynamic because even though you were on salary, it wasn't like you had to budget for stuff because it was a regular fixed income in a way. But you also didn't know that you were going commission the next day.
The next
If
day.
you had a ramp up period,
Yeah.
it would have been a little different.
Yeah. And what's funny though is because also I had such a pipeline when I went to commission because I was just vested in doing the work, not having the commission breath. I was just focused on doing the work and getting after it,
And so when you were on salary, you were doing the buyer consults.
Yeah.
Listing consults too?
Oh, yeah.
All of it.
Yep. All of it.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So by the time I went to commission, I already knew what I was doing. I just needed that little.
Yeah. Yeah. But how nice to get the reps in beforehand to make it so that, because so many people struggle with that. They jump in and they're training, calling, appointments, learning the buyer, like all of it at once. It is the fire
For
hose.
free.
Right.
Unpaid internship.
Yeah. Yeah. For
Yeah.
future payment.
Yeah. And you have to stay vested in that and all of that. But at the same time, you got to eat. So most people will get another job, so then it kind of breaks up the rhythm of
And
it
then
all.
they can't be doing it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that way up, these clients were like internet sphere of Kevin and Fred's, like where were all these people?
Yeah,
that you were
internet
doing these?
clients. We had a Dave Ramsey campaign for a while. But once so like it was internet leads, personal sphere, Fred and Kevin's personal sphere. But then once that ball started rolling, then it was like client referrals and
There you go.
yeah. Past
So how
client
long did that
repeats.
take? Because I was talking to agents, and they start in the internet game just because that's where they can get a lot of at bats,
Yep.
right? And we all know it's not great conversion, but people do convert. And
Yeah.
you do that, you do open houses, but at some point in time, there's that tipping point of, wow, that was a past client that just called me to list their house or have their
Yep.
kid do something or refer their friend or family member, right? At what point did you start seeing that happen?
I feel like it was probably around the 2-year mark.
Okay, wow, that seemed
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
Killer.
It did seem quick. And I didn't notice it when it was happening. I looked back at it.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, where did business come from last year?
Isn't that funny how most things are that way?
Yeah.
Like, you don't realize it in the
Yeah,
moment.
we were like, where did I apply my efforts last year and where did it pay off? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it was past clients. Shoot, I better call them more often. Right? Oh, it was client referrals. Better call those past clients more often. Right? It was
Yeah.
managing partners. Better go have coffee with Greg, So it was one of those learning lessons where I'm like, oh, it was a lot of either repeat business or word of mouth or, so that's a very satisfying.
When you're doing those audits, is it like an Excel spreadsheet somewhere? Is it in your CRM or where is it? You get
It's a
Post-it
little,
notes all
yeah,
over your mirror?
it's a little bit of all the above. Some in my phone, like the adding to the VIP list, but CRM. Yeah, the
Good.
CRM, and then I do keep a spreadsheet just because I'm old school like that. I have an actual paper
It's
calendar.
kind of easier to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when you look at that, okay, so let's go back. Let's just think of this year, right? You're planning for, the rest of this year and the future. What are you doing with your past clients? How do you go after it?
So I always try to add all my clients to my social media.
Okay.
Some people frown upon that, but like I said earlier on, like sex, religion, politics, money, I try to keep my social media very vanilla, very clean, very
Why
relatable.
do you think people frown upon it?
Because some people don't like to. I think that because they're like, oh, well, that's personal. They're in my business. I don't
Yeah.
want them to know me on a personal level. And that's like, it's a relationship business. So they should know you on a personal level.
It's kind of the goal, right?
It's kind of the goal.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're on there all the time talking about, I sold this and this is pending, boring, they're going to pass it up. Right. So you got to mix it up too. And I want them to know me as a person. I want them to know me that I'm actually out there hustling on Super Bowl Sundays, showing homes, and then picking up the kids on Monday, or taking care of my ailing father. Or, I want them to know that I'm actually a person.
Working out.
Too. Yeah.
Yep, traveling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Girls' nights.
Yeah. Trying to, not influence, but just let them know that I'm a person too, and and out there hustling and working and momming and all the things. So I add them on social media.
Good.
And I do that because it's just one more touch. A happy birthday, or oh my, it's something you can call them about, pick up the phone, like, oh, I saw that so-and-so made a touchdown.
Nice.
Or I saw that your parents were in town. Like, instead of just saying, hi, I'm calling to follow up. Right?
Yeah.
You have now
How's the
some,
house?
how's the house? Yeah, you got something to say. House is great stuff. It's still here. I'd let you know if it wasn't, But it gives you information to talk about,
Yes.
And it humanizes you too, because some people do make emotional decisions when it comes to purchasing. I'm going to use Stephanie because I emotionally like her.
Mm-hmm. So when you talk about your process, right? So you've closed, when you friend them like up front on the deal when you first meet them and stuff, or do you like wait, like, oh, let me wait till after we close? Like,
that's a good question, and it depends on the person.
okay.
Yeah. So
you meet someone, hit it off.
Yeah, like if it's a first-time home buyer and
yeah.
I need to nurture them with Greg and get their credit where it needs to be, I am getting them right then and there at the consult. Let's connect on social media. Would that be cool? Especially if
like during the buyer consult.
during the buyer consult.
Killer. Okay.
That we're like, blink, and now we're friends.
Let's talk
now
about
we're committed on a different level.
Let's talk about your other extreme investor guy. He's doing the Airbnb thing, cash flow and 30, 40 grand a year.
Yeah.
Let's connect on social.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So who gets the
The people that they don't get it right away. Probably more so the male investor, single male investor. I try to keep it business, numbers. Because that guy really isn't on the social media apps anyways, looking at me taking the kids to football.
Yep.
It's the families that I want to connect with. It's
so it's a gut call during the buyer consult.
It is.
Like,
it's
am
just,
I going to do this?
like, is it going to, and how is it going to be received? Or I'll feel it out, like, oh, I saw this funny video on Instagram. Oh, I'm not on Instagram.
There you go. Oh, I like that. Mm-hmm. That's so sneaky.
You're so sneaky. Gotta stay sneaky.
That's so good.
Yeah, I hate Instagram too. Stupid videos.
Yeah.
But it's a way to nurture somebody too. I've got people 100%. On there that the Rob and Maxie, I nurtured them for 7 years. It's a long time, but wow. Like those kind of things that you're always constantly, I got invited to their wedding before I even closed on the home with them.
That's so awesome.
So wild.
Yeah.
But social media got me connected.
Like you said, it's a relationship game, and people that are putting their stuff out there, personal stuff, I'm seeing their relationships, right? And then I can connect with them that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so so now we have the people.
So I'll do phone calls, I'll do text messaging, that kind of stuff.
But what's the system on a weekly, daily, monthly basis where you're checking to see whose birthday is it, or did they have a soccer game or whatever? Like, is it daily? You're like, hey, I'm going to go in there for 30 minutes. Is it weekly? I'm in there for an hour. Like, what's the...
I would love to tell you there was some kind of consistency or rhythm to it, but it's when I get your emails that say, oh, it's been a home anniversary, I'll text them right then and there.
Oh, nice.
I'll snapshot it. Ding, happy home anniversary.
Oh, nice.
If I see it on Instagram, I saw it was your birthday, I'll send them a little birthday video. Hey, happy birthday, So I'll just kind of let it. But with past clients, I try to hit the 5 on Friday. I'm in the car already driving. Let me pick up, and I do your ABC order.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I can
the letter of the week kind of deal.
Yeah, so I can just 5 on Friday. Let me just see the 5 that I can connect with on Friday before the weekend. What are you up to this weekend, Greg? What'd you do this week?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's really good. Okay.
So I'll do that. But then I also do like little Christmas ones or holiday ones. I send out, and those mass texts, people just, for me, it feels like sending out 150 texts at one time.
Right.
But for them, it's like,
me.
oh my, yeah. And the responses are always, oh my gosh, Stephanie, thank you for thinking of me. We were just talking about you the other day. Yes.
Nice. Oh, top of mind awareness. I love it. And so those texts are just from your personal cell phone, though?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? Do you individually, like you have their contacts in your phone, you do it, or do you use like Reach or hit them up, or?
No, I just individually, I literally pulled up my contact list and I go, Abe. I'm going to click on Abe, and Al's next, and I'll just.
Nice.
Yeah.
so you can.
Yeah.
There's like reach or hit them up. You can put them all in there, and you can make groups that are like A, B, C, D, and then at the closings you can add people into the group. That way you can go in there.
I need to do more stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've always been so
then
hesitant.
You could do more.
I could do more.
Right, and it's still personal because you can still put the name. Like, Greg, just thought about you today, and it'll automatically do that for you. Greg, Kevin, Fred.
I need to do that in addition to what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that it's more.
Just leveraging the technology to do more.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. All right, so any mailings? Do you do handwritten notes or birthday?
So
Like when you see the birthday, is it a birthday card?
We do an interesting postcard each month from the team that comes from the team. So we put
Is it the yellow one?
Yeah.
Dude, that is so awesome.
And it is so responsive too.
Yes.
I put the sellers into HomeBot, which is your HomeBot, so it's like the co-branded on that. So it's just another touch. No, I
Any
don't
videos
do
out to your people?
I'll do videos. Like for instance, with the condos, I'll send a video of the condo that I'm showing to the person and be like, "Hey, I'm out here showing this condo to this investor, but it made me think of you." So I'll do the "I don't know if this is for you" video.
That's good.
I don't know if this is for you,
I
but
don't know if this is for you.
Yeah.
Oh, a little FOMO.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
But everyone's doing it. Everyone's buying up all these investments. You should too. Yeah.
3 out of 4 people say.
Yeah. But I try to be strategic with, because I know like I could be better with some of the techie stuff, like what you were just saying, and like leveraging that kind of stuff. But I always like to be personally in
No, I like it. The calls, the text, the videos,
Yeah.
like that's very, very personal.
Yeah,
Do
I
you
want it
do
to feel organic,
any handwritten notes?
I do. Well, I will do handwritten notes too. Yeah. I wish it was more of a routine or consistent thing. It's more of like an inspiring.
Yeah.
I went through a divorce. I had a divorce mediator, and he was so kind and so wonderful. And I sent him a handwritten thank you card. I put some business cards in there because he sees a lot of sell once, buy twice.
He should be on your VIP list.
He is on my VIP list, which is why he got a handwritten card.
All right.
So yeah, there's certain strategies that I do like that too.
What's different between the past client list to the VIP list? Is there any difference to how you follow up with those people?
That's a good question. Past client. Because I feel so connected to all my clients, but like past client would be more of a, hey, I was just driving around. It's good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
VIP list sounds like, Greg, I just saw this investment. You got to take a look at this investment. I'm going to send it over to you. Like it's more
Business.
But I try to line it up more like it's VIP too. Yeah.
Like I thought about you.
Yeah.
This is special for you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where the other one's just like, hey, I just wanted to see how you guys are doing. How are the kids? Blah, blah, blah.
Yep. Do you try to book meetings with your VIPs?
I do.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Try to meet them quarterly, semi-annual, a couple times a year.
I should have some kind of strategy behind it. I'm probably failing on that on so many levels.
You're doing really good winging it. Let's put it that way.
But
you have more structure than most, right? So but I'm just asking because the same thing for the people listening are mostly realtors. Like, here's some of the stuff that you're already doing. That's why I want more ideas of that stuff.
I try to continue just to build that relationship with them so that they will think of me, that if I show up for them, they show up for me, kind of thing, So, I just try to keep it as personable as I possibly can.
What other categories? So obviously, I know I'm in the list. You have your divorce guy.
I've got my divorce attorney who sends me referrals. I'm trying to make some of my money back on him.
Good point.
I mean,
so I know it's a joke.
And he owns 2 homes, and his mother-in-law's gonna be moving in with him soon. So I got all sorts. Yeah.
No, I know joking, but I always think that if you're spending money with people on their business, then they should be reciprocating as well. So whether it's the hairdresser, the nail tech, the wherever. The gym owner. If I'm spending money every month at the gym, I want them to be referring me, but it's on me to get the referrals, right? So I know we joke like, I want to get my money back. Yeah, but at the same time, like I paid that guy. You pay your CPA every year, so the CPA should be thinking of me.
Yeah.
As they're meeting with
I've got a great
clients.
CPA as well.
Right.
Yeah.
But are they on your list that you're reaching out to?
Yep.
And So who else is on the list?
So who else is on the list? I have a couple of investor guys that I like, some builders on there, like developers, some other real estate agents in other states that
Nice. That's a good one.
yeah, because people tend to forget about them.
Yes.
You know, I actually just met one of them that I've done 3 or 4 or 5 different transactions. Just met him in real life recently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's like, I was looking for you. I was hoping you would be here. And we'd never met. But, you know, because you can keep that relationship via phone call, via social media, just reaching out. You know, hey, we closed a deal last year. You remind them that you guys have already done business together, that we've already brought value to each other's lives. Remind them of that. Stay present, you know, because they can just refer it to anybody.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
So they start establishing a relationship with somebody else, and you could lose out now.
Yeah.
I always say you can take those relationships for granted.
Yeah. I have a couple of new home builder sales agents. I made a really good connection with my sales agent when I bought my home last summer. And, you know, they can't always they can't always do outside of new home sales. So they have to,
Right, most can't.
yeah, and they don't always take contingencies. So if you need someone to sell your home, think of me, you know.
Do you have like this is a great one. So, because that's your wheelhouse. Do you have any plan of going after to add more of those people?
Yeah, I actually do. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Because I think it's a great connection to have.
Yeah.
You know. And I have a couple of friends that do like auctions and like wholesale, but they don't do what I do, all that they have a real estate license, you know, so it's good to get in connection with those kind of people to be like, hey, I can throw you 25% your way.
Just
Just
say, do you do referral fees for them if they're allowed?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And so we're with EXP, and we have a like a social media. It's like a Facebook for our brokerage because we're a cloud brokerage,
Yep.
right? So you'll go on there and be like, hey, I need a Phoenix agent, and then everyone goes crazy when
Right.
right
Yeah.
jumps in
I
on
know
there.
someone
Yeah. So I'll go back to like anyone, like I went back 2 years on there. Hey, you were looking for someone in Phoenix about 6 months ago. I don't know if you actually connected, but I'm still available. Would love to throw you a referral fee.
How strong is that?
Well, 4 people replied. They still haven't bought. They actually are still on the fence. And actually the guy never followed up. And actually, thank you for.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a gold mine.
It is. Hopefully.
Should have kept that to yourself.
No. But it's all about, you know, it's all about the connections and the relationships and
And the follow-up.
the follow-up.
And the follow-up.
And the follow-up. Yeah.
Because then they see how you're going to treat their referrals.
Absolutely. Yep. And I don't just follow up. Like when you give me a referral, like the agents that give me a referral, I'm like, hey, we just connected. We just met. We just looked at homes, sending an offer out. I'll CC them on the offer so that they know they can follow their money because it's their money too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, they ghosted me. Can you help me get back on the phone with them?
That sounds like me when I get a lead from you.
Yeah.
Hey, we talk, we schedule an appointment,
yep.
they're pre-qualified, here we go. It's like,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I love that. Okay, so we got past clients, you got VIPs. Any other places that you're getting
So I'm
business
trying
from?
to focus more on open houses this year, just
Okay.
getting back there, boots on the ground.
Is there a goal of this is great because this is
4 a
people need to
month.
do
That's
this.
my goal.
4 a month. Okay. All right. How do we do in January?
We hit him.
All right.
Hit him in January.
Okay.
Missed this last weekend. I wanted to do an open house, and I went to the Phoenix Open instead, and actually got 3 solid contacts from just going to the Phoenix Open with intention,
Okay.
with business cards, with the intention of getting contacts. So
It's different when you're focused on that, right? Like
Yeah.
I have intentionality going to this event that I will meet at least 2 people, 3 people, whatever the
someone's
number
going to
is.
hear my script today.
Yes.
Yep. I don't care if you had 6 beers, you're hearing my script today.
Yes. I'm getting practice.
Yeah.
And you're getting my card.
And you're getting my
information.
card with my face on it. Yeah, and I'm getting your info. So I got 3 actually solid contacts from there. So that also just reminded me, like the more you put yourself physically out there, like in an open house, the more that the shop is open, the more likely you're going to have people shopping or
I think
running
just
into them.
energetically, universe wise, you're just putting yourself out there at events, at open houses, at even through an email blast, calling you're just I'm open for business. I'm open for business.
Yep.
It's a great
I'm
strategy.
here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
But before we go back to the open houses, these contacts. Okay, so I meet. I'm just calling them random contacts at a networking event, sporting event, whatever. What's the follow up from there? So you met him Saturday or Sunday?
So I met him Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
Yep, met him Thursday.
Have you already followed up since then?
Oh yeah, twice. 3 times.
And what does that look? Is that call, text,
So,
handwritten note?
yeah, the very first
video?
one was a precious man sat down next to me on the little trolley because you go park, they put you on the bus,
yeah.
and they bring you over there, right? He's like, "Can I sit down next to you?" And I was like, "Oh, of course," I was like, "How's your morning
Are you
going?"
pre-qualified?
Yeah, no, right? I was like, "How's your morning going?" He's like, "Awful," and I was like, "Woof, tell me about it." Get him talking.
Ask great questions.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I got a flat tire." And I was like, "Do you know how to change a flat tire?" He's like, "Do you know how many flat tires I've changed in my lifetime?" Like, he could have been spicy and I could have just been like, looked at my window,
Yeah.
And I was like, "So you're telling me that you know how to change a tire so it wasn't that stressful because you've done it so many times? Good for you. You're blessed." He just like looked at me and I said, "And if you didn't have that flat tire, you wouldn't have sat next to me. And you're lucky to have met me today. And I'm lucky to have met you." He laughed, And I said, and he's like, "Yeah, I was just on the road for 2 hours." And I was like, 2 hours? Where'd you drive from? He's like, "You wouldn't know." I said, "Try me.
Try me.
Try me." He said, "I'm out here at Sun City Festival." And I said, "Oh, I've sold out there." And he's like, "You owned out there?" And I said, No, I'm a real estate agent. So I actually sold somebody out there. But it was too far. So we've already since sold and brought him back to town. How are you doing out there? He's like, "I hate it. It's too far. I want to be back in Scottsdale." And I said, "I'm so glad you got a flat tire this morning." Reached into my bag, grabbed a business card, and I said, "What was your name again?" And he gave me his name, last name. And I said, "Here's my phone number." And I said, 2 things. I'm going to call you. I said, "Call me if you get lost today and you can't find your bus back to your parking lot." He's an older guy. He's probably in his 80s, 70s. Older guy. And he's like, "I didn't even think about it." And I was like, "We're on bus R headed to lot E." And he's like, "Thank you." He called me about 2 hours later. "Stephanie, I'm lost. What was the bus again?" So now I've got his phone number, right?
Nice.
So I called him on my drive home and I said, "I just wanted to call you back and make sure that you made it safely to your car." And he's like, "I did. Thank you so much." I said, "I'm going to call you on Monday and I want to talk shop." And he's like, "Absolutely." Called him this morning, 9 a.m. And I was like, "Terry, it's Steph." I said, the blonde lady that wouldn't shut up on the bus." And he's like, "I know who you are, Stephanie." So I said, "Hey, you know what I didn't get? I didn't get your email address. I didn't get your home address." I said, "Let me grab that from you real quick." And yeah.
Love it.
Love
Just
it.
ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I've got an appointment to have donuts with him next week at his house and get it's a listing appointment and then go buy him a home.
Wow. That's amazing. Oh, I love it.
But because he was cranky about his tire, I had to break the ice some way. I had his ear for at least 15 minutes on a bus ride. What
Right.
else are we going to talk about?
Yeah. But just so many times, especially in today's day and age, and I know you mentor young agents, I just see people on their phones.
Right.
So you could have just been there like
Absolutely.
texting a friend, looking through social.
Yeah.
Yeah, the seat's open.
And if my intentions
Okay.
were to go party that day and just go to the Phoenix Open and go, if that was my intention, maybe. But
Yeah.
I had full intention. I'm going to make
Right.
contact today. I'm going to make a connection with a human being today. That's all. That was my intention. That's all I wanted to do, and I did.
Yeah.
And he
Before
just
you even went.
just happened to before I was even there.
You could have sold your ticket and gotten done in an open house.
I mean, I got 3 solid contacts, and I thought, man, that was better than open house.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a lot, and I'll do it better next year. And yeah,
So good.
yeah. But it was such an easy conversation. "Greg, is this your first time
Yep.
at Phoenix Open?" "No, I've been here before." "Oh, it's my first time. Where are you from?" "Oh, I'm from Nebraska."
Yeah.
So you
But
just
I love that
so you
there's
got a
just-
hotel out here? "No, I'm at an Airbnb." "Want to buy an Airbnb?"
Are you paying somebody else?
Yeah,
How about
exactly.
next year?
Yeah. So that's how the conversation went. Every single time.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so back to the open house strategy.
Yeah.
So we got our goal of 4.
Yep.
What's the process? I know you guys got a dialed in plan for the pre, during, and post. What does it look
Yeah,
like?
I'm still dialing it in. I'll be honest. I'm not the best at open houses yet, but I'm fumbling my way through them because they are a little bit different than like just going to a model home and sitting in your model home.
True.
But it is the same in the sense that you're just sitting in a model home waiting for people to come buy your home. So
Problem is the thing is the builders have a big budget, so they've done
Yeah.
the advertisement, they got the billboards, they got
Yeah.
the signs already out.
Already
so you
out.
got to do all your stuff
yeah,
before, right? So how many days before are you planning to post and announce and call the neighbors and
yep. So I got the listing on, I think it was a Friday. We had photos taken Tuesday. I took a photo, put it coming soon on Tuesday for it to go live Thursday so I could do the coming soon, so I could do the social media blast with the open house, so I could make flyers. We walked flyers. Let me think about this. We had the open house on Saturday, went live on Thursday, so we walked flyers that morning. Door knocked on the neighbors. "Hey, your neighbor's selling their home. They hired me to do so. We're having an open house. I'd like to personally invite you to come and take a look at the home. You know?
Nice.
Yeah, that was
How many
it.
neighbors?
100.
100?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, got my
Wow.
steps in that morning. Well,
Dang.
so I also, and I'll speak very openly about it. Our team hires new agents all the time. And these new agents are hungry little beavers and they need to learn ground level stuff. So they are walking flyers with me. They
cool.
are
Okay.
door
So
knocking
it's
with
you
me.
doing 100.
It's not me doing 100. I did 50 and he did 50.
That's
He probably
awesome.
did
Wow.
more. But they put out signs for me and they door knock for me. And
How
they,
many signs?
I think we had like 15 out.
Wow.
But it was
Okay.
also a new home construction area where there was 4 new builders out there. So
Great.
yeah, so every time we saw, I said to my partner, I said, hey, anytime you see a builder sign, just put our open house sign right next to it. Because people are coming out here to look at homes, might
Right.
as well take a look at mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine has window coverings and appliances and backyard landscaping. So, so we walk the houses and then we will do the calling. We'll call, in our database, we'll drop a net over the area, and anyone in the database that has been looking in that area, we'll call them, hey, I don't know if this is for you, but we have an open house this weekend. Pop by.
You pull the data because you guys bought Land Voice. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know.
One of those. So it
something.
could pull all the numbers, scrub
Yep.
the do not call, and then you just through the dialer. Yes. Okay.
Yep. So a little bit of that, social media blast, show up for open house day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you do great at the open house. Conversations aren't difficult. How do you ask for the info? Do you have a sign-in sheet? I know some people get all like, I can't ask, or mandatory, or
Yeah.
the seller requires it.
Yeah, I don't make it like as contingent like that or as
Contentious.
contentious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't make it as contentious as that. But I'll say, hey, let me give you a quick tour. Go ahead and sign in real quick. Let my seller know who is through the door.
Yeah, just kind of on the cuff. Yeah.
But we do little QR codes now. And what we started doing, and this is a rip off and duplicate, I can't even give credit where credit is due, but we have printed off more than one QR code and we put them in the bathrooms and in the bedrooms so they can scan and sign in at their leisure as they're looking through the house. Because right off the top, it's like, oh, sign here. Like, oh, I just want to look around, you know?
Yeah.
But once they start looking around and loosen up a little bit.
Or it just feels weird if I'm like scanning it in front of you and then I got to sit here and enter my stuff in while you're just standing awkwardly there.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Versus I can be in the master, no one's around. I'm like, okay, let's scan
I
this
do
thing
want to
now.
know more about this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good one. I
Yeah.
like that one.
So
How many QR codes you put in there?
we put them in each bathroom and each bedroom.
Okay.
So this one had
depending on how many there are, but
and then right
that's a good
the
number.
door on the way out to the garage too.
Ooh, nice one.
Front door on the way out to the garage.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so it just kind of snags their attention.
Yeah.
You know? But I do like open houses. I like the belly to belly conversations.
He's good with people. It's just getting more people.
To
Right?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the game.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the follow up after? So you did capture their information.
Yep.
It was on a Saturday.
Yep. So I actually got their information, and what I told her, I said, the lady that walked in, they said, we're looking for an investment. We want to do an Airbnb. I said, well, this is not the one for you. As much as I would love for you to buy this house, it's not. If that's what you're looking to do, this is not your home. But I have the perfect area for you. We were out in Surprise. Off the 303 and way out there. And I was like, I have the perfect one for you in South Scottsdale. Meet me out there next
The
weekend.
helicopter.
Yeah, on a helicopter. But no, so I said, I'm going to, as soon as I leave here, I'll lock up. I'll send you the listings I told you about. So that was the follow up, you know, hey, I'm going to leave out of here. I text her, just left. Can you send me your email addresses? She sent them to me. I already had them with the sign in sheet, but she sent them to me via text. And then I just sent her the listings. And the very next day I said, did you get the listings? Do you have any interest in them? Do you want to go take a look at the community?
I love that, the follow up after to make sure they got them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You got them, right? What kind of questions you have now? You're looking at pretty pictures because I know you got questions now.
Right.
You know,
you saw my email.
I know you saw my email. I saw it open. But then, let's go take a look at them. You know, how are you buying it? Let's talk money. You know, are you a cash buyer? And I knew that they were cash already, but so then it was just buyer consult from
That's
there.
phenomenal. Yeah. Now let's say they're not, because that's awesome. But let's say they came through and whatever, and then you called on Monday. Thanks for coming. Need more information. They don't pick up. What's the follow? Is that like a frequency of every couple days or?
Yeah, especially that first week after. Hey,
Okay.
I don't want to bug you, but you were super interested on Sunday, so I want to make sure that I'm not missing the mark for you. You know, I want to make sure I'm doing right by you and your timeline. I'll say that kind of stuff, but I'll follow up with them until they buy or die.
I like how it truly, the restraining order.
Yeah,
I like how it's
either
truly,
one. So.
it's just so subtle. I say pleasantly persistent, right? Like I'm persistent, but I'm like, hey, I don't want to bother you. I'm not trying to put you out. You seemed interested. What can I get you information on? It's very, it's not pushy. It's not, hey, look, you came to the house. Do you want to buy it or not? Like it's just, it's very pleasant.
Yeah.
Right. But that's what helps people have a relationship. It's not
And you also have to
confrontational.
kind of get out of your head a little bit too. Like I used to be a bill collector. I used to call people every day, 2 or 3 times a day.
Ooh, just seems they mistakenly picked up that one time.
Yeah. And we would ring through as a different number every time, different area codes too. So like,
Wow.
yeah. So for me, it's like, yeah, I'm following up, you know,
That's
so,
sneaky.
so I have to kind of rev back from that a little, you know.
Well, it's been a dozen years.
It has been a dozen
It still
years.
comes up, doesn't it?
It does. It's very, yeah. But yeah, and how many times will somebody like call you and you look at your phone, you're like, oh, I can't actually answer that right now.
True. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
All
that's
the
true.
time, I feel, you know? So like, I think that we get in our heads too much. Oh, I'm bugging them because they haven't called me back, because they haven't answered.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they've wanted to answer 3 or 4 times and they just haven't. Maybe they're starting to feel bad. Maybe
Don't
now they're going to
project it
feel
on
so,
them.
yeah. Don't assume so much, you know? And keep calling and until they say, Stephanie, like my divorce attorney. He called me last week and he's like, I love the listings. Listen, I really do. And I really appreciate the persistency, but can we dial it back a little? It's flooding my inbox. And I was like, yeah.
Was it set to like
A
every
little.
day?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll dial it back a little bit.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, but then, you know, so I don't know. Like there's certain companies, Temu. I don't know if you're familiar with Temu, but like if you ever download their app, they're like, you forgot your inbox, you forgot your shopping cart, you forgot this sale, you forgot, like, right? And oftentimes what happens when you get that, you're like, oh, okay, fine, screw it. Let me go back to my...
Yes. Or like you said, you got pulled away.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you open your phone like, oh yeah, I did want
Oh
to get
yeah,
that.
I meant to get that.
I did want to get that. Yeah. And you don't know. So don't project it on that, your perception on them. Let them make the decision.
Yeah.
And if they hit unsubscribe or whatever.
But I don't think what you should do is I meet Greg on Friday, tell him I'm going to call him on Saturday, not call him, call him 2 weeks from Saturday 14 times.
How you been?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I
You
think
do videos at all? Like do you text video? Like, hey,
I'll do like
this
a
is
birthday
Steph, or-
video.
like
I'll do
that?
birthday videos.
What about like these open house people?
I'll also do like if I get a new internet lead, I'll say
100%.
Yeah. I'll say
That's golden.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Hey, it's Steph. I just called you. I missed you. I wanted you to put a face to a name, like I'm a real person.
Love that.
Yeah. Not an AI out here dialing. It's
Yes.
me. Love to help you.
Money.
Yeah.
Money. Cool.
Yeah. Referring agents too. You know,
Oh yeah.
everybody. They love it.
Love
It
it.
may be weird, but it's like, you know, oh, what are they going to say?
It's not.
What are they going to say? Ooh,
it's
she's
not
doing
weird, it's
her
just
job.
different. It's just different. It's just different.
Yeah. Yeah. It might be a little cringe, but what?
I sent happy birthday to one of my attorney buddies on my VIP list, but just been a longtime friend of mine, and his birthday Saturday. It was Saturday, and I'm out walking the dog. I got my rucksack on, and I look at my calendar. I'm like, oh, it's his birthday. So you go, hey, dude, I don't know if you're in town, blah, blah, blah. I still owe you a lunch because we were supposed to go in December. Let me know. And like 5 minutes later, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Because they just don't get it.
Yeah.
They're not getting those a lot, right? So you stand out.
Yeah. Yeah. And mine will be so random sometimes too. Like this morning, I was just thinking that the guy that I trained in the design studio during the time, years ago, right, at VIP Homes, he's still running the design studio. And because I was
No.
thinking about this podcast this morning and thinking back about how I started, and I was kind of going through the journey in my head on the way to the office this morning. And I thought, damn, you know, Justin and I we were so close. So what did I do? Picked up the phone, sent him a text. Justin, you literally just crossed my mind. I just want to wish you a great, happy Monday. Love you, miss you. Hope life's treating you well.
That's awesome.
He's like, holy smokes, Stephanie, love you so much, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm top of mind again. But it was a very genuine,
But it was
organic.
for that purpose.
For that purpose.
But we just know the residual effect of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last question, what do you think about like agents that are coming in the business right now? Good time to be getting into the business? Okay time?
I think,
Like, hey, Steph, I've saved up. I've been thinking about getting into real estate. I got 6 months reserves. And I'm ready to take the 90 hours. I know the commitment.
yeah,
Is it a good time?
hell yeah. It's a good time. There's a lot to learn right now. There's a lot to learn right now. Right now, you're a real estate agent. For instance, when there was 30 offers on one home, right? I was writing 30 offers a day, drilling them out, trying to make one or two stick, 50 grand over, like,
Wow.
you're not really a realtor.
Well, but even then, you had to still, there was an art to how you
That
were
you had to do it for sure. But there was just that. But right now, it's, you're learning how to do open houses. You're learning how to do cold calling. You're learning the business. You're working to get like that buyer. Whereas before, it's like, oh, hey, I want to buy. Let me go find a realtor. Hey, these are the homes I want to go see. Right.
Right.
Where now it's like, I need to go find that buyer. I got me a buyer. Now I have to, let's go get you pre-qualified. Let's shove some homes in your face, right? In a nice way, but
Yeah, but it's back to basics.
Yeah.
And doing the basics better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to be a professional realtor and stick in this business, I think now would be a great time.
To get in. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about training. Last thing, I promise, because I could talk for all day with you.
I could talk all day with you.
You got your. I've known you guys for, like I said, a dozen years, and it's always stood out that your training is just top notch within your team, not the organization. Organization is great too, but within your team, Trainual and the system that you have to do pass the buyer consult with another agent on the team in order to graduate to then play, I say don't practice with real money until when the money counts, practice before, right?
Yeah.
So you guys do a great job of that. What does your training look like now for you personally after 12 years in the business? What are you doing to keep yourself sharp and train?
So I will always plug into like a good mastermind, like Zoom call or luncheon. But for me personally, it's the technology side of things, getting that leverage to work, perfecting emails better or drip campaigns through AI.
Oh, nice.
Making that kind of stuff, make it sound prettier, listings sound prettier. So I'm trying to like incorporate that. So it's more learning on that part of it. But also like this year has been a year of creative financing as well. So before it's like you need to know about the real estate side of things, but right now in order to sell the real estate side of things, you have to know the finance side of things.
True.
Better than you've ever had to know, because you got to get them to believe, trust, understand all of the above, So I've been trying to train myself more on that, on the money part of it, on getting creative with that, but then also training myself more on open houses, watching other people do it, the rip off and duplicate kind of thing.
Well, and you mentor others on the team now, so that makes you
and
sharper.
I love it. Does. I love it. It totally does. It's so funny because you're mentoring somebody to learn the business, but it makes you show
you're learning.
It does, and it makes you show up on not show up on point. Not that you would ever be lax, but it's like it makes you think about what you're going to say and really hitting all of the angles of all the buyer consult and doing all the pre-quals correctly. It like makes you really go back and cross those T's and dot those I's more when you have somebody like watching and learning from you, and it makes
100%.
you. It's almost kind of like. I was just telling the man that I'm mentoring right now, it's kind of like going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you're not going to just do 2 reps and put it down because there's like 30 people watching. You're going to do the best that you can. You're going to, try to.
You're in really good form.
You're in really good form. You're going to stay there.
Reps.
Yeah, you're going to be sweating, drinking water. You drink way more water at the gym than you do during the rest of the day because people are watching. You got to hydrate. So it feels kind of like that.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you show up because there's other people there, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you're like, man, I could miss it
the
today.
Office. I just want to Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're showing them how to do the phone calls and showing them how to do the follow-up and showing them how to do the flyers and showing them how to do the open houses, you're like, oh, I want to get more business to show them more. And watching them learn fills my cup so much. Watching someone succeed, watching someone make their very first paycheck in this business, it's everything.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do.
Well, I'm so happy you came on today.
Thank
you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You so
yeah.
much.
That was fun.